and welcome to Add More Zest. My name's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147. Happy 8th of June, everybody. The section chosen for today is number 24. So we definitely seems to be very lopsided, does this decision wheel, but that's part of the fun, I think. So I'm working with a pen today that was gifted to me by Anika. It has been filled with all these gorgeous green beads. I actually started this video, said hello, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm missing something. And I realised it was a pen. Because I have my pens in a pen storage tray. And this is actually one of the drawers, so I'd actually gone through my other drawer, so I had to go and get the next drawer in the sequence of my gifted pens, but I've got that now. Looks like we might be able to zoom in a fair way. I do need to roll it a little bit, but I can put it more to this left hand side and still have my computer here for all the comments. But we have completed a week. We are now on to the second week of June Waffle. It's a good job there's just over 4 weeks to keep us entertained. I think my glue dot's rather sticky. Let me just dab it on my face. Seems to be my go-to at the moment. It seems to work really well. Don't know whether it's just my moisturiser or what, but it seems to work at helping my glue dot be a little bit less tacky. I tend to find if I dab it on my clothes, I have to do it a few more times than if I just brushed my cheek with my pen. The things we do to keep diamond painting. But yesterday's giveaway is now closed. So that one is all done, and we will be emailing the winner soon. I try and do it as soon as I can after the draw has finished. Megan does it for me. Megan is the one that has access to the spreadsheet, so basically all the information goes in a spreadsheet, so she does a random number generator and then just sends me the number, sends me the winner. But yes, the first prize has been claimed. That actually got shipped out yesterday to Bernadette from Ireland, and I have posted on YouTube who won that one. So once somebody has confirmed all their details, that's when I will put up on YouTube what prize they've won. I did start numbering how many giveaways I was doing, but I kept adding to them. I kept thinking of more things that would be good for giveaways. So, yeah, I've stopped numbering them. I'm just going to go by what the item is that has been put into the giveaway. But there is many, many more to come, so do stay tuned. It can actually be quite hard sometimes to remember when I'm doing a whip and waffle, if it's a whip and waffle that I need to do one in, or whether it's one that I need to tell everybody that it's now closed, or yeah. It can be fun keeping track of that, and of course all the numbers that were chosen by the decision wheel. I do have it all in my calendar, in my YouTube calendar. But yeah, it's been a busy week. So yeah, we're trying to contact everybody as quick as possible. This week we're able to get the emails out pretty quick because Megan is off work, so she's able to do it straight away for me. But it will slow down. It will be a few hours after the draw's closed over the next few weeks, because I'll wait for Megan to get home, because then it's absolutely nothing. Well, it's nothing to do with Megan in relation to the picking. Say she doesn't run random number generator. I have seen those wheels where you put everybody's name in, and you know, thought of doing that one, but actually entering all the names would probably take a bit. So we just keep doing it the way we're doing it. Random number generator, and then it just gets fired over to me to send the email. But yeah, it's all fun. So I did have a look at, once I finished the video yesterday, I did look at the possibility of putting my tray storage up in this craft room. But the section where my pegboard is only going to actually give me enough space for 2 tray storage. And I think I'm already into 3. I haven't pulled all the trays out yet because I'm using a lot of them for this painting. I haven't yet pulled out, but I'm pretty sure I'm already hitting 3. And in fact, I do have a list with all the trays that we've done. So thing is, it's split by year. Yeah, it's over 50. So if we include May and June, then yes, we have limited edition trays would hit 3 storage containers, 3 display cases, and that's without any duplicates. So, and I have a couple of different versions of pink trays from right when we first launched and had 4 kids on the bottom of the tray, to when we went to add more zest on the outside of the tray. So I have a few different variants. So yeah, I am going to need 3. However, we have found a place where they may be suitable to go, that we can actually fit 3 on. Goodness knows what will happen when we hit 4. But stay tuned. I will share and post and let you all know when it is up, when the tray storage is up. I'm not sure whether to put it up and then put up all the trays I've got so far, or whether to wait until I can add in these trays that I'm using for the waffle, and whether to put them in rainbow order, or maybe whether to put them in the order that they were launched. I feel rainbow order might be a bit prettier though. That's the only thing. There's something very, very pretty about putting things in sort of a rainbow order. So we shall see. I don't have the time at the moment, so I keep trying not to get too excited about that option and start messing with it too early. Right, let me scroll down. Oh my goodness me, I have loads and loads of comments to go through. So let's start on some of those while I am filling in lots and lots of white on this one, with, of course, a few splatters. But Joanne, she says, the green gravy is an East London tradition. She said it's called liquor, and it's actually parsley sauce. She says pie, mash and liquor shops are very popular in the East End. Paulette, I think it was Paulette, actually put up a picture in the Facebook group. Paulette is Lady Dax, isn't she? No? No. Oh, I am so bad with names. Anyway, there has been a picture put up in the Facebook group of pie, mash and liquor, in case anybody is interested to what it actually looks like. Apologies if I've offended anybody with names. I'm normally a little bit better, especially people that have been watching my channel for quite a while. It takes quite a bit for it to settle into my brain, but once it does, I'm normally good at then remembering, but for some reason I'm now doubting myself today. Kaz, she says she hopes all is well. She says, in answer to your response about the Queen and Paddington Bear, it was actually for her Platinum Jubilee that they did a little sketch. The Queen and Paddington Bear did a sketch, and that was for her Platinum Jubilee. So I knew it was for something. I just couldn't remember for what. Julie says she's really enjoying the June waffle. She says normally she doesn't get the chance to diamond paint at the weekend. Normally she only gets the chance to diamond paint at the weekend because she's too tired to do it every day after work. She says she's doing very small sections each day, and she's really loving it. Thank you. Oh, I'm so glad that you've been able to find a way to make it work for you. I get the whole, when I was working in the office, quite often it could be that as soon as I got home, I was just too tired to think, too mentally tired to think about doing anything in an evening. There was many evenings that I was just like, nope, I'm noping out of this evening, and didn't have the energy to do much. So it's nice that you're getting to do a small section, even if you are keeping it small. That's something you can do if you find the same thing, but maybe you want to challenge yourself to do a small diamond painting. There's nothing saying you can't do 5 small sections and then 2 bigger sections on your painting. There is nothing saying that your sections have to be all the same size. There's nothing saying that there has to be 30. If you know that your life at the moment doesn't allow you to do it every day, but you would like the challenge to do it most days, then maybe divide your canvas up by 25 or by 20. So that, you know, at the beginning when you're going great guns, you can still be doing a section a day. But then, you know, when life starts to take over your demands, as it often does, you know that you can skip the odd day without feeling as though you're not going to achieve your goal, because you've actually spread it out with separate sections. And if you finish early, then that's fine. You can move on to another one, or maybe one that you have as a work in progress that you've put on pause. You can go back to doing that one. The rules are yours for the making. It's just fun to join in the June waffle where you can. There is no particular rules of how to do it, because everybody's different and everybody's life is different. Just try and get that bit of me time. I say, some people have been making cards, some people have been sewing, some people have been doing cross stitch, some people have been sorting out their spare storage. Somebody one day, their me time was diamond painting shopping. Any excuse, that's what I say. Do what works for you and for your life. Just try and get a little bit of time for yourself each day, because you will feel better for it, even if it's just a small part, or a few minutes, or 15 minutes. Mysterious Days, she says, happy day 2. She says she forgot to comment on day 1. She said she's been watching last year's June Waffle. She said, and there was a ton of comments about trying to match my speed. Very much so. That's often a common trend in relation to June Waffles and Advents, especially Advent, because a lot of people do the painting that we do, that we have been offering for the last couple of years. So a lot of people are doing the same painting, which is, of course, a lot more comparable, you know, in relation to June. I tend to keep June more for, you know, people to do something different, something from their stash, something they've been wanting to do, or something that they're not looking forward to and not enjoying but need to finish. June Waffle is a perfect time for that. She said 2 days in a row, she said she has finished within 30 minutes and pulled another project out to while finishing the video. She says maybe it's because her sections are small due to being a 13 by 18. She says, but she does also multi-place. Well, anything happens in your life that stops you, you know, from diamond paint, stops you before the videos may be finished, at least you know you're still going to be able to get your project done. She says she has worked out the glue dot trick. She says now it is her preferred for her single placer, but she still uses blue tack in her multi-placer, and she does have a second pen for wax, with wax for ABs. She says, how do you diamond paint and actually listen to an audiobook? She says she needs music if she needs to mentally be present. She prefers physical, she says, but she does love a good creepy pasta for the dishes. In relation to listening to an audiobook, I'm guessing a lot of it is just the way your brain is built, possibly. I find that listening to, you know, looking up the symbols and things like that only takes a fraction of a second or two to be able to grab whatever the next symbol is. And I tend to keep the lid of my pot quite close while I'm doing it. So listening to words and things in relation to a book doesn't seem to affect me while I'm diamond painting. What I find it stops is just my mind wandering to loads of different things, and then either feeling like I should get up to do said things or try said things or put said things on my to-do list, and, you know, just stops my brain wandering in that way. But yeah, I've never found it to necessarily be a problem. There are some things I can't do with an audiobook present, but it's normally only something that involves other words or lots of numbers. So I have tried before having my audiobook playing while doing the accounts for the business, which is done mainly weekly. And yeah, that didn't work because I was repeating numbers in my head for, you know, confirming things and doing VAT returns and all the rest of it. And yeah, it didn't work with words. So yeah, I'm not very good if it involves words, but if it doesn't involve words and it's more of an action, then I can listen to an audiobook fine. So I actually get through quite a few sometimes when a lot of stock comes in that need, you know, preparing or things like that. So I tend to count it off and do the counting I need to do, and then put my audiobook on while it's prepared. or checked and, you know, cross-checked before it goes into the stock, wherever that may be, whether it be filling up stock in my craft room or whether it be, you know, something new where we have a lot of stock and it may go into our overflow. If it doesn't involve words, I'm all good. And yeah, I find symbols to me aren't something I need to concentrate on enough to distract me from a book. Sarah B says, Rebecca, she says, day 2 done and dusted. Yes. She said she just wants to chime in that she agrees with what others have said and that a 4-placer is the easiest one to start multi-placing with. She said you should give that one a try. She says it's also almost easier to start multi-placing in a smaller coloured block section rather than a big one. She says sometimes the larger sections can sort of get away from you and get a bit wonky. That's good to know. I did also try, I mentioned in a Whip and Waffle a day or 2 ago, it was mentioned about when multi-placing to do it from the top. So sort of do it vertical, but place your top diamond first before you go down and place the rest. And I actually thought that would be a problem because I work on an easel. It actually isn't. It is a lot easier to get them lined up when you start from the top and do the rocking motion rather than from the bottom and do the rocking motion. So thank you so much to whoever passed on that tip. I know they did. I think they got it from another YouTuber, but I appreciate you passing it on to me and help me in my giving multi-placing a go journey that I am doing every now and then. So I am, at the moment, I'm just doing it on the Dreamer Designs painting. It may spread out to some others. But at the moment, I'm not doing it on the mystery painting. The mystery painting is keeping my attention enough because of the symbols being black and white. Barbara, she says, what is a waffle? Mary Ann said she had the same question. However, she found her Facebook page and it means chat. Yes, waffle is the same as chat. It's just more when you keep going sort of on and on, which for somebody in a room on her own, I feel like that's what I do. Even though I don't feel like I'm on my own, I feel like I'm talking to all of you guys. But it's not as much, you know, sort of chatting with your friends where you take it in turns and you're having a conversation that way. It is, of course, me reading out your comments and turning it into a little bit of a chat. But then often I can go off on a tangent and just keep chatting and waffling on about this, that and the other. As you will see if you stick about, the conversation goes all over the place, and every now and then I throw in something else random because that's what I do. Sylvia says there is a YouTube channel called Mary Higgins Clark Audiobooks. She said they are well read and she enjoys listening to them. Oh, I might have to see if I can find that one. I do like Mary Higgins Clark books. Thing is, I have read so many of them and she has so many, but I read so many of them so long ago that a lot of the time I forget if I've read them. I start reading them and I get a good chunk of the way through and then I go, oh yeah, I have read this one before and this is who did it. And it sort of, I keep doing it too much. It sort of upsets me because I'm really enjoying the book, and I'd rather, if I'm not going to remember, I'd rather just not remember. I'd rather my brain just waited until I'd got to the end of the book. Thank you very much. Brianne says, woohoo. She says, off to a great start. She says she will use a 4-placer. She said, and it's thinner than a 3 or a 5-placer, she said, so she can see better. But she always single places her edges, she says, so she has well-placed edges to work against. She will use the 4-placer, she says, for just 2 or 3 drills if the space left requires it. She says she does whatever she can in an area with the multi-placer for the colour, and then she goes in with her single placer to fill in the holes that are left. She said she flips back and forth quite easily. She says just like using a pencil with an eraser on it. So just flipping it up and down like that. I do. I mean, that action is easy to do. I think it's just because it requires a little bit more concentration from me. And again, maybe it's just the way my brain works. But I find that requires more concentration than just picking up a diamond and putting it down. But maybe it's because I've been doing it for quite a while. So I actually had a Facebook memory come up on my timeline. It came up today for me as I'm filming this, but for you guys it would have been yesterday, and it was a memory saying that I have found a new hobby, a new obsession, and it was diamond painting. So it has definitely been 5 years that I've been diamond painting, because that was my 2nd or 3rd diamond painting that was in the image I put up. But yeah, it is amazing to see sort of what's come of it, which is pretty amazing to me. And yeah, I'm ever so grateful for diamond painting and you guys for, yeah, it being able to be a business, and do business, chat with my friends, able to do giveaways, you know, just all that. I just love all of it. The fact that I can share the love alongside, yeah, running a business and doing YouTube, all from diamond painting. It might not give me as much time to diamond paint as I may have been able to have in the past, but I still think I get a pretty decent amount of time diamond painting, especially now the kids are older, and yeah, they help loads in relation to keeping the house ticking along. She says she hopes that I have a lovely time away with hubby. She says that I deserve it. Oh, thank you, Brianne. It's appreciated. I did have an amazing time. We did have fun. I do feel like today has flown though. I feel like I've achieved things, but I feel like it should have taken me less time than it did. But I don't think I wasted time either. I just want more from my hour. I just want an hour and a half for my hour is what I want. Sue, she said she thinks the reason that a 4-placer works better is the edges on most 4-placers are so much thinner. Well, that'll confirm why a 4-placer is one of our most popular multi-placers that we sell. There are many of others that go really well, but the 4-placer is definitely seems to be quite a few customers' favourites, and that'll be why. She says this is a lovely painting, and she does wish that more companies would do something like this. It's a lovely painting, and I'm actually really enjoying, I enjoy doing blocks of white anyway. I enjoy the fact that I, can switch off a bit and just diamond paint, but I do still have some pops of colour in each square. But I am really enjoying doing it sort of a bit here and a bit there. I'm finding that, then I do get those little sections like yesterday where there's just that bit more colour coming through. Marianne says, hi Rebecca. She says this is her first time participating. Well, hello and welcome, Marianne. She says the first time she has ever sectioned off a canvas with a washi tape. She says she's doing the sections in the order you came up with to change the way that she normally does things. She says this is fun. Yeah, it's not something I like to do every single time. I do enjoy doing paintings in, an order and strategically, should we say, one bit followed by the next bit, etc. But I do like to change it up every now and then, just because it is a bit more fun, a bit more exciting, a bit of a change. And June Waffle and the likes of December Advent are the perfect times for that. I've been enjoying using my decision wheel as well to pick what canvas I do each evening. I have 3 on my decision wheel. However, I do actually physically only have 2 kitted up at the moment. I keep trying to find a little snippet of time that I can film kitting up the Auraloa painting ready for July so that I can actually start working on it. But it's not happened yet. So I have the Auraloa painting, the Dreamer Designs and my Diamond Art Club mystery painting on my decision wheel. And I spin it and it decides which one I'm going to do each evening. The last couple of evenings it's actually chosen Dreamer Designs for the last 2. I think one of them it did choose Auraloa, and I just decided to spin again until it picked one that wasn't. But I think what I will do is when it comes to the mystery painting, I will just do one section and spin again. And if it picks the mystery painting again, then I will do a second section. And if it picks one of the other paintings, I will then work on that other painting for the rest of the evening. So for Dreamer Designs and Auraloa, that will be my choice for the evening, and that's done. But the mystery painting, I'll do one section, and if I've got time to do more, I'll spin again. Or I might decide to do a Paint Gem Mini, or I might decide to stop for the night. It will depend on how long it takes me to do that one section. Because while I am really enjoying doing the mystery painting, it does take a bit more brain power. And that's fine, but doing a whole evening on it, it can sort of, it's a nice painting to basically mix in with the rest. And give my brain a little rest every now and then. It's what keeps me going and gets me going the next day. Marianne said she heard me talking about the crown canvases, which are from Heaven and Earth Designs, and she said it did give her a thought. She says, what about an event, she says, for those of us getting the Heaven and Earth Design canvases. She says maybe the same concept of completing a section a day, but since the canvases are usually larger, it would need to be a 2 to 3 month event. She says she's just got hers, but she does need to order the diamonds. She says it would just to be fun to know that others are doing a Heaven and Earth Design canvas along with me. Yeah, I mean, I I aim to do a Heaven and Earth design section per day on my one that's on Pattern Keeper, so that's not on Crown Jewel canvas. And that is something I plan to continue throughout 2023. So I'm hoping to finish up my big Heaven and Earth design in the next couple of months. Then I will take a couple of weeks gap while I de-kit my big Heaven and Earth design and sort out my spare diamonds. I'm sort of de-kitting it and giving them a little bit of a spring clean all in one kit and caboodle. So maybe join me after that, because you've got to get your diamonds, and join me for doing my other Heaven and Earth design. I'm going to do my other mini one before I start my Crown Jewel one. But my plan is to do a section a day, and then I do a whip and chat on it on a Thursday and let you know sort of where I'm up to. Due to the business and the time it takes for YouTube videos when you sort of smack in all the editing and all that sort of editing and uploading and all that jazz that goes on in the background to get these onto YouTube, it's not something that I can do an event like this chatting one for more than a month. It takes a lot to do these for a month, especially this one. And that's only because I've chosen to go for a canvas that is double the size that I normally do, and it's a square. So all these videos are taking me over an hour, and because of Luna, I'm unable to film these in the day unless one of the kids is home to have her, because I can't leave the door open to my craft room because the 3D printers are working their little hearts out, bringing all the exciting things that we've got coming over the next few months. So yeah, it's not something that I can feasibly fit a whip and chat in around during my day, but I'm more than happy to do maybe an events page on Facebook, a bit like the June Waffle thread, so that people can in effect be accountable or feel as though they're being held accountable for their section. I'm more than happy to set up a thread for it, and maybe we can, you know, cheer ourselves along with whichever Heaven and Earth design that you're doing, whether it be one that you're part way through or one that you're about to start. And yeah, I'm more than happy to say. So let me know if that'll work for you, and I'll schedule some Heaven and Earth design posts. Maybe it will hold me accountable. Because I tend to... I started off doing a section of my Heaven and Earth design every day of the week. I then found that actually Monday to Friday worked better for me, just because of the busyness of the house at the weekend, the fact that weekend is normally the time I get to do my filming. So that's normally when I do all videos for the week. It's only June that I actually do them each evening. And yeah, I just found that doing 5 days was enough. Me and hubby were of course away last week, so none got done then. I was not carting all of that off with me and saying to hubby, oh no, sorry, can't go do something today because I need to do my section. I did take some little paint gem minis, but I did those around what we were doing rather than my life revolving around those. And so far this week, so I'm filming this, is it on a Wednesday? It is on a Wednesday. I'm doing even worse than I thought. So I'm filming this on a Wednesday. I didn't do my Heaven and Earth design section on Monday because we did have a lot of orders in over the weekend, and I wanted to ensure that I could get all the American orders out because they have to go out they have to be fully packed or postage labelled up in the morning to ensure that they are collected that day to go out. So yeah, I had too many orders to do my Heaven and Earth design section in the morning, and to be honest, if I don't do it in the morning, everything just rolls into something else and something else and something else. I did go to do it on Tuesday morning, so I did have the intention. However, because I had been away for a week, my tablet was too flat. So by the time that charged itself, I was well into the rest of my day and busy with Advent planning. And then today, Luna was at the groomers this morning. So there wasn't enough time for me to do it before taking her to the groomers. And I probably used that more as an excuse and could have maybe done it before and after. But as soon as Luna goes to the groomers, it's like doggy daycare for me. I'm like, right, what is not as easy to do when Luna is about? So we did some rearranging. Because she's always underfoot if you try to rearrange things, pulling a load of stock out, sorting things out, rearranging some cupboards so that they work better. All that sort of stuff is not easy to do when she's about, because she just wants to play and she thinks every time you move in something it needs to be inspected and sniffed, and then she thinks that you're playing when you move your arms. So yeah, we ended up doing that while she was at the groomers, and she came back smelling absolutely gorgeous and will probably continue to be a sun dog. She's been a sun dog in the garden recently. So yeah, that's the reason I didn't get it done this morning. I am hoping to get a section done tomorrow and get myself back in to the flow if I want to have any hope of getting it finished. But yeah, as I say, there's just not enough hours in the day. I would like an hour and a half per hour at least. If I could have it doubled, that would be even better. Susan, she says, hi Rebecca. She says she has just finished her second square. She says, thankfully it was not all white drills, but it kind of looks like army camouflage. She says not a clue. She hasn't got a clue what her mystery canvas is. It's all black symbols, she says, which is a bit of a challenge, but it's a small canvas. It's 30 by 40, so it's doable. I agree. The black and white canvas, well, black and white symbols are really, really fun. Don't get me wrong, I am loving doing my mystery, but they do take more concentration. They do take more thought, and therefore they can, on occasion, be just a bit more hard work. A bit more hard work, which, I say, it's about mixing it up, isn't it? I wouldn't want to do only mystery canvases, even if it could be guaranteed that they would be pictures I would buy if I'd seen them first. I still wouldn't want to do mystery canvases all the time. But I'm really enjoying doing the one that I have, which I think is probably another reason I'm going to spin the wheel after doing one section, because then I can do it for longer, but I can do it in nice bite-sized pieces that keep the enjoyment there as much as, you know, spreading it out and making it last longer. She says she only multi-places when her glue dot sticks out, and she gets 2 drills at once. I think I might have already done that a couple of times on this one. Yeah, when you've not long got a fresh glue dot and it picks up 2 diamonds by accident. That used to be the only way I multi-placed as well. I'm practicing. She says she enjoys the process and she is in no hurry to be done with it. She says, in fact, she says she has no idea what she will do with her paintings when she's done with them. She said she does the same with cross stitch. She said she finishes them and then she pops them into a drawer. She says she apologises in advance to anybody who has to clean out her stuff when she's gone. You sound like me though. I have some absolutely gorgeous cross stitches as well that they're actually stitch of photos, so it's various different family members. There's one of me and my mum, there's one of me nan, I think there's one of me brother and me dad maybe. I have done a couple that I've gifted, but those ones are done and they are still in a drawer. They do occasionally move, depending on if I'm in organising mode and decide that it is a prime place for something else. But yeah, they are still in a drawer. And I can't quite find, you know, the ideal place for them to go. Though if I actually think about it and put my mind to it, I could probably find somewhere to put them up in the house. And maybe that's what I should challenge myself to do. Maybe I'll do it next time I go to move them out of their current spot. But diamond paintings wise, yeah, I have quite a few that aren't up anywhere in particular. I just do really enjoy doing them. And I enjoy the process. Maybe I should just put them up on one of our family chats and see if any family member wants any particular ones to put anywhere, if it appeals to them. Maybe that's what I'll do with some of them. She says she also enjoys my waffles keeping her company. She says she's been a widow for 2.5 years. She says, and she finds this is a nice way to have company. Well, I'm so happy that I can keep you company while you're watching, Susan. I would love to be able to visit each and every one of you and have a diamond painting and a natter and do some diamond painting that way. I think it would be absolutely awesome. But this is the next best thing because, as I say, even though I am in a room on my own, I don't feel like I'm talking to myself, which is probably a good thing. I don't know what my neighbours think if they hear me, but that is their problem. I feel like I'm just chatting to all of you. It's just become so relaxing, and whip and chat are one of my favourite videos to do because there's no planning, no thinking. We just chat and just chat about all sorts, absolutely all sorts come across these chats here, and that's what I love. It just goes off on a tangent. Marwi says, hi Rebecca. They said when it comes to multi-placing, she says she thinks that this is the perfect canvas for practicing. She says she also prefers placing vertically and she likes to use the skinny plastic tips, like the ones that come with Diamond Art Club's kits. She said she might be a little weird, but she has never gotten good at using 4 placers. But she is a master with the 7 placer. She finds it easier to line up with the grid when the placer is longer. Ooh, so that's another thing for me to try. If I was doing this canvas not as a whip and waffle, then I would camera. If I was doing this canvas as sort of my diamond painting in the evening, I would be more likely to give multi-placing a go on it because I feel like I have to concentrate when I'm multi-placing because it's not a habit You know, I've single placed for pretty much 5 years, and single placing I just don't have to particularly think about. I can just do, which allows me to chat at the same time. Yeah, I think trying to multi-place, or at least trying to multi-place too much on this canvas would, yeah, it just result in loads of quiet moments while I try to figure it out. But I will try some longer ones. I will try a 4-placer. I will also try one that is even longer than that and see which one works for me. I'm pretty sure I've got some big sections of sky near the end of my Dreamer designs, so maybe that'll be a really good time for me to practice both. At the moment, the section I was working on last night was actually a tree. And if anybody's done a Dreamer Designs painting with a tree in it, oh, they look absolutely amazing, but they are not a multi-placer's dream. It is 2s, 3s, 4s, vertical, horizontal, a bit next to each other, single ones here, there and everywhere, and a whole mashup of very, very similar colours that make the trees look absolutely stunning, especially when there's ABs mixed in them, but they are not the best practice for multi-placing, that's for sure. Right, my glue dot on this pen keeps getting really sticky, so if you see me pull a diamond off, it's just because it won't stick to the canvas, because I've either put it on my pen too harshly or the glue dot has just picked it up in a certain way that it just wants to keep hold of it. So that's why I just pull them off and throw them back in my tray. If they've got an air bubble or anything like that, they get thrown in my trashy. She says, Maui also says, she says, P.S. all the cross stitch talk is really giving her the itch to stitch. She says, so her June waffle project is a cross stitch. She says she's got a whopping 169 stitches done during this video. That is really good going. I do really enjoy cross stitch as well. I just don't like the time it takes away from my diamond painting. Because I tend to get focused on it. So if I start a cross stitch project, I did it with the Christmas one that actually took me a couple of years to do, but I did sort of get hyper focused on doing it for a couple of weeks, and then something broke that focus, and I went back to diamond painting, and then it gets ignored for a while, and then I went through another section of hyper focus on it and got all the full stitches finished, not like in one day, but like in a block of time. And then it got left for about a year before I then got to hyper focus on getting all the back stitch done. So it was actually done in like 3 block sessions, but it took my time away from diamond painting, which then also made me want to diamond paint. But you can't cross stitch and diamond paint at the same time. That's the only problem. That would be an ideal world if I could cross stitch and diamond paint at the same time. I'm sure I would have an absolute ball. Or maybe do a third hobby that I've been thinking of doing as well. Do you reckon I could get away with 3 things? No. Can't even do 2. I'm dreaming about doing 2 things at once. Never mind doing 3. Ina, she says, thank you for keeping me company today. She said she started before me on her own custom painting, and she did a large section of 6.5 by 20 centimetres. She said, so she has definitely had her me time today. Well, good on you, I say. Keep the me time coming. Deb also says, she says there are a lot of Mary Higgins Clark books, audiobooks on YouTube. So yeah, I will check that out. I'm currently in the middle of, it's actually one that was free with Audible. about an undercover cop. So I'm currently listening to that one, but then I will go and have a look at some Mary Higgins Clark. At least then I won't feel bad if it turns out to be one I have read before. Because all the Mary Higgins Clark tend to be ones that I've read rather than listened to. I used to get lost in a book. I could finish a book in a day. And that was a hyper-focus thing as well. Once I started reading, I could be up till 3 o'clock in the morning finishing that book because I was itching to finish it. So yeah, it's nice to have an audiobook because at least then I can do something else. Plus, the audiobook tells me that there is like 7 hours left of this book, which makes me go, okay, there is no way I can listen to that and still go to bed at a half decent time. But when I'm reading, because I'm a fast reader, it's like I tell myself I'll only be 10 more minutes. 3 hours later, I'm finally going to bed. Brianne, she says, arrow that goes back on itself. She says, do you mean the U-turn? Yeah, I probably do. I come up with all sorts of different names for symbols, and sometimes they are not what would be the most common name. And U-turn definitely makes more sense, but I've got arrow that turns back on itself in my head, so that's what sticks. She says it's time for a conversation on the fun names we give to symbols, and we give different symbols as we say them in our heads. Oh yes, there's a few controversial symbols as well. The one I'm currently working on I would call target. It is a circle with then a dot inside it. That'd probably be called target to me. And then we do have just like the letter D and the letter H. They would just be given the letters that they are. We've got a question mark and we've got my arrow going back on itself, which is a far longer name than it needs, and I am fully aware of that. But that's what it's called. It's really weird though, because the tick symbol that is all over the back of this canvas, it is the 3865. It's not the tick symbol in my head, it's just white. It all of a sudden has turned to a colour. It's just white in my head. And often when I have a canvas with a lot of black on it, especially if it uses the dot or the square symbol for the black, that actually just becomes 310 in my head. And it's just like, oh yeah, 310, 310, 310. It doesn't even get the name black, it just gets 310. I suppose that is one of the things when, firstly, you were a cross-stitcher or you have cross-stitched, which means you have the familiarity with DMC numbers. So 310 being black is already something you know. And then you come into diamond painting, which uses the same numbers for the colours of the diamonds. So therefore, you know, you automatically know that 310 is black. So yeah, any symbol that tends to be a square or a dot, as soon as I know that is a black, it is actually a black diamond, it just becomes 310. So yeah, let me know if you found out any symbols or any names you give to symbols. I don't know what I'd call this one. Maybe a T-junction. I'm not even sure if you can see it properly because of course my stickers are on the side of my tray now. But it's basically a line then with a dash. T-junction, corner T-junction. It's not even a letter T. Well, it is if you tilt your head funny, but anyway, that is a really good note to finish that one on. So thank you so much, Brianne, for a nice little symbol randomness for the end of today's section. But there we go. We've managed to get this like really big U or L with a flick, because it's done all the way up to here. We've only got 2 other sections all the way over there. Does make me want to sneak and have a look at what tomorrow's will be. Oh, beautiful. You're going to love tomorrow's section, people. Let's just say it's following this sort of theme. That's all I'm going to say for now. But do join me for tomorrow's Whip and Waffle. I can't wait to chat through some more of your comments and yeah, see where the topic is going to take us next. But thank you all so much for watching, and I'll speak to you all tomorrow.